Hello everyone, my name is Terendi. I will present about the 21st century, the novel since 2000. The defining event of the first part of the 21st century was the attack on American targets, including the Twin Towers in New York on 11 September 2001. The attacks had a huge impact in every sense, emotionally, culturally, politically, all over the world. Imaginative response to it when truth takes of shock, grief, anger, and assimilation. A novel by Christopher Brockmire, published 2 days before the attacks happened. A big boy did it and ran away, was and still is astonishingly prescient both about the violence and about some of its roots and resonance. These attacks immediately became a reference point for artists and writers of all kinds, from Ian Banks about Dead Air's Son afterwards to Graham Swift's Wish You Were Here 10 years later. Martin Amis wrote a major collection of pieces, about 9 or 11, published in 2008 as The Second Plan, and his 2010 novel The Pregnant Widow is very much about the vibe of the time, taking its title from a quote by the 19th century's father of Russian socialism, Alexander Herzen. This conquered to make sense of a fragmented and rapidly changing world is a nature function of literature. The shock and awe of the 1990s led to different views of violence, to a questioning of what seemed to have been stable, to new kinds of narrative, sometimes government-led, about threats to the very fabric of society. Irving Wells was transporting has held its place as a definitive text of the 1990s, shows something of how perceptions have changed over recent decades, such as perceptions of politics, of violence, of international interdependence, of gender, of poverty and wealth. All of these have undergone some pretty radical shifts in the Western world. Here, Wells has a character give his views on the change of perception as regards politics in the United Kingdom between the Thatcher years, roughly in 1980s, and the early years of the new century. Irving Wells is one of the writers who has kept his finger on the pulse all the way through. He has brought back several of the characters from Trainspotting in novels such as Glue and Skeg Boys. A decent right revisits a character from Glue, and the Blade Artist follows Begbie, one of the heroes of Trainspotting, to his now more or less settled life in California. The bedroom secret of the master chiefs and the sex lives of Siamese twins move away from his familiar Edinburgh or late setting, but, as the title suggests, maintain an interest in topics that might once have been considered taboo. States of the Nation. In the 2000s, many of Martin Amis' novels continued his bad boy image, exploring the more disreputable characters in modern-day society. With Lionel Esbof's work about States of England, he returned to brilliant satirical, almost dissential form, set in dystopian this town and with a welter of Dickensian names and characters. He portrays a rotten society corrupted by crime, money, and lack of morality. Lionel Esbo is a classic of its kind, although there is a concern that such a novel might become dated to much of its time and place, but Amis has never been afraid to handle themes that are far from local, despite his achievements in the depictions of London's Shamir side. He has always had a fascination with totalitarianism and dictatorship with his work Koba the Dread, which looks in particular at the crimes of Stalin, is one splendid example of how he used history in his writing. Times Arrow, another formally very inventive approach to narratives about fascism. With the zone of interest, Martin Amis expands that into a daring, chilling narrative which takes us right inside the hearts and minds of the men or women involved in the running of Nazi death camps. It is a solid, almost documentary, but highly empathetic and personal account of what it was time to be the day-to-day workers, commanders, foot soldiers running with fearsome efficiency the trains, the camps, and the extermination campers. Drama since 2000. One of the defining texts of the time is Stuff Happens by David Hare, a political documentary about the Iraq War, which premiered to coincide with the third anniversary at the National Theatre in London in 2004, and soon after in New York. It takes a documentary look at the origins of the Iraq War in 2003 using real protagonists such as the politicians involved and their advisors to create a probing investigation, in many ways clearer and more powerful than any long delay official report might be. It is one of the high points of a committed kind of the political drama in Britain that can be seen to go back to the 1970s, starting after the wave that brought Osborne, Pincher, and others into prominence. Verbatim theater became a means of examining local, national, and international concerns with Harris, the permanent way looking at Britain's railways, the state of the systems and its works, and Aleki Bleed's musical play London Road later films using the actual words of the citizen involved around an area in which a serial killer had murdered several prostitutes. Many verbatim plays were staged at the Tricycle Theatre in London and came to be known as the Tricycle Tribunal plays transporting political commissions such as the Hutton Report on the Iraq War and the inquiry into the death of the black teenager Stephen Lawrence into gripping theatrical pieces. Okay, that's all for my presentation. I can say thank you for your attention everyone and see you later. Bye.